May the fourth be with you, everyone. Today we talk about the brand new TV show that Star Wars has done, their first show since The Mandalorian. It is the spin-off of the Clone Wars final season, and it's called Star Wars: The Bad Batch. Its season premiere debuted May the 4th here, and we're very excited to talk about the opening episode in spoiler fashion. So if you've not seen this opening episode, please go watch the episode and then come back here each and every new episode when it drops, which will begin every Friday. Starting this Friday, I'll be coming back with my spoiler reviews of this show. So now let's get, and again, before I start my review, actually, guys, please like the video. The thumbs up button is the best way to support this channel at the moment. Also, please comment down below your thoughts of the episode. I'm really fascinated seeing people's thoughts on the Bad Batch. If you have watched this episode and if you watched the episode so far, have you already seen Clone Wars and Rebels? Have you only seen one, or are you just diving right into Bad Batch as a first-time viewer? I love to know all the different perspectives, because as someone who adores both Clone Wars and Rebels, I would love to know how you guys thought about this episode if you haven't watched both those episodes. But also, if you have, tell me, do you also like a lot of the inside baseball like details that the show does? Also, please subscribe and ring the bell to the channel, guys. If you're new to the channel, I do movie reviews, TV show reviews like these, streaming platform reviews, and movie rankings. If you like any one of those things, please consider subscribing to the channel. Without further ado, let's get into the review. So I absolutely love this episode. It isn't a perfect episode, but I was really enjoying myself. I couldn't believe that the opening episode was an hour and 10 minutes, because if you know Clone Wars and you know Rebels, mostly it's 30 to 45 minutes is really the timetable, how long those episodes are. I think the last season of Clone Wars, the final 4 episodes, did kind of stretch it to like 41 minutes. But for the most part, back in the day when Clone Wars was really going, it was about 30 minutes an episode. So for this to be an hour and 10 minutes as a premiere, it was so exciting, because even The Mandalorian doesn't even touch an hour that often, if at all. So I was so excited. And we start off with a big moment from where we heard about from Star Wars Rebels that we get to see in the light, and that is young Caleb Dune, who turns out to be Kanan Jarrus from Rebels, seeing his master die in Order 66. I thought it was a really, really gut punch way to start the episode, because if you know Rebels like I do, and Kanan's such a great character, and once again, coming back to voice him is Freddie Prinze Jr., you get this really, you know what's going to happen if you know Rebels. Now, I heard a lot of people online when I was watching them said, who is the kid? Am I supposed to know who the kid is? We did see the kid not talk, but they're in a meeting in the final season of Clone Wars. And again, Caleb Dune turns into Kanan Jarrus. So if you know Rebels, this is Kanan as a kid. And I knew that right away. I was so excited that it was Kanan, and we saw the backstory about Kanan. We heard that his master died during Order 66, didn't know why. And we kick off the episode with that story point, with the Bad Batch saving the day. And then right as they're about to move on to the next point, we hear, well, really, we get that big opening Clone Wars opening where Tom Kane narrates the great what is going on in the show at the moment. And we see animated forms of events from Revenge of the Sith, which we did not get at all from the final season of Clone Wars. We get to see Revenge of the Sith in animated form in the opening of the episode at points. And then we get Order 66 kicking off the episode. So I saw a lot of people backlash saying that they wished the episode was a little bit before and then head into Order 66. I like that it's just at Order 66. We just saw the Bad Batch right before Order 66 in the final season of Clone Wars. So I was excited to see them right into Order 66. How do they react? And Crosshair is one of the 5 who seems like the chip is kind of working. He isn't killing. He wants to follow orders, but he's still listening to Hunter, which I thought was a really interesting perspective. Crosshair wants to kill the Jedi now, based on his coding in his brain, the chip. And then when Kanan escapes, Hunter says that he was dead. Obviously, Crosshair knows he was not. I mean, he's the one who reported that to the Empire. So after that whole really cool opening scene of someone who loves Rebels, really adored the opening set piece of the episode, we go to Kamino, where we are for pretty much of the episode, around 70 to 75% of the episode. takes place on Kamino, which was great. We have not seen Kamino since the Clone Wars. And even in the movie world, we've only seen Kamino really in Attack of the Clones. So it's great to be in Kamino for a lot. A lot of the great Star Wars Clone Wars memories came from Kamino. So I'm excited to go back there. Everyone knows who the Bad Batch are. They know they're defected clones. But I kept forgetting, like they kept saying there's five people who are defected. And when you think about it, Echo isn't defected. Echo is a regular clone, but because of what happened to him, he's really more robot than he is man. So he isn't a defected clone. We realize that this girl Omega is a clone, and it's now the first female clone that we have seen in Star Wars, which is actually really exciting. And I really did like her a lot towards the end of the episode. I thought at first it was a little much having her just show up, do stuff with the Bad Batch that early on. But when we get to the end of the episode, the very last shot of the episode with her in the cockpit, I'll get to that in a bit. I really love that part. So they go and watch the Emperor Palpatine's speech from Revenge of the Sith, which obviously was recorded and seen around the galaxy. And I was getting chills. I was saying the words because I love Revenge of the Sith. And Palpatine saying it, I'm saying it word by word. We get the great Kevin Kiner music, who brings in the John Williams score a bunch of times. Really good composer. He is now composing this as well. You got the Darth Vader music, the Emperor music, all in this scene. And you can feel that something was off, obviously, because the clones were all acting weird. They were cheering when Palpatine was talking. And even Tack was like, you guys, these people are clearly regs, if you realize what's going on. So then they go into this, Tarkin shows up, and Tarkin, clearly the Empire is kind of done with the clone process. They want to recruit people, and that's where we kind of got that Stormtrooper backstory from Force Awakens. We kind of started here with it quickly. Tarkin's never been a huge fan of clones. He was, as Echo says in the Clone Wars episode that he was in the episode that we thought was killed Echo. And he was very aggressive, not liking clones in that episode. And here Tarkin clearly, once again, doesn't. Tarkin's sent by Palpatine to do all of this and talk with the Kaminoans. So now we're going to let's get to the lunch fight scene where, it seems like all the rest of the clones really don't like the Bad Batch. They have a bad rap because they don't follow orders. So they're at their own table. Omega, who's also an assistant medical person, she sits with them, and it starts a huge, big lunch fight. And then it goes into the training sequence where Tarkin wants them to be trained. And they're really doing a great job at first with the non-lethal ones, but then they put in some real bullets. And then again, the Bad Batch do a good job. So Tarkin again wants to test them again, because obviously they don't follow orders that much. They go to this area and they said, you got to kill these people. They're insurgents. And then we realize that there's just regular Republic life people, and is led by Saw Gerrera, and his form from Star Wars: The Clone Wars. He's obviously popped up in Rogue One in live action form, but has been in Rebels, Clone Wars, even in the last video game Fallen Order he is in. So this really opens the eyes of most of the clones here. The fact that the Clone Wars is done, but the Civil War is just beginning, and they don't want to kill, obviously, but Crosshair still believes that the job should have been done. Crosshair has basically been at Hunter the entire episode. Now, at points, guys, I was quite annoyed with Crosshair every 2 seconds. Not liking what Hunter is doing. I felt a bit repetitive and quite annoying at times. I got what they were doing. At times, it was just too many times Crosshair just kept misjudging Hunter. They go back to Kamino, and they amplify. Tarkin wants Crosshair to be worked on, because Crosshair clearly, while he still isn't totally turned, he still has something of the chip in there more than the rest of them. So Tarkin amplifies the chip. He's now full bad now is Crosshair. And we have this really fun action set piece at the end of the episode where they're in prison. The rest of the Bad Batch, they're trying to escape with Omega. They came back to Kamino because Omega is a clone, and they want her to be a part of the Bad Batch, which I thought was a really cool, neat trick. And there's a really fun action scene where Crosshair is with a lot of other clones trying to stop the Bad Batch from escaping. He even shoots one of the members of the Bad Batch. And they do escape, Crosshair could not stop them, but we'll obviously see Crosshair and Tarkin for sure, because you can definitely tell Tarkin will be continuing to spy on the Bad Batch for a while. So then they're like, where should we go? We can't just hide down. Tarkin and Crosshair will be after us. And then they said there's one person on this planet, and I wonder who this person is. I think it could really be Rex. We've seen Rex in footage. Rex is my favorite clone. I would love to see Rex, but I wonder what person they are going to meet next week. I do think it'll be Rex, but we'll see. And then we end the episode with them about to go to light speed, and the fact that Omega's never seen this before. She sits in the cockpit and she watches the light speed happen, which as Star Wars fans, we love seeing every time. But it really put us in Omega's shoes. The idea of, I would love to be in her position just to be able to see that in person for the first time. It was a really great way to end the episode. And again, it was a 71-minute episode that absolutely flew by to me. I cannot wait for Friday to get episode 2 to see where are we going with the show. Will the Bad Batch actually be turned? We don't know the status of the Bad Batch from the original trilogy. So new original ground, we know Fennec Shan will be involved in the show as well. So a lot more to come. Dave Filoni created the show. He developed the show. So once again, this is his show, just like Clone Wars and Rebels. So we're going to see a lot more references from both shows. So let me know, guys, in the comment section down below, did you enjoy it as much as me? Because I watched both Clone Wars and Rebels and know a lot of the references, that I really love the episode. I still think there's a bit of some issues. I said Crosshair is a bit too annoying this episode, and Omega a bit too interested as well. But overall, a great new look. Again, a new look at Order 66, and Kanan's opening set piece was really cool. But if you guys just watched Rebels or you just watched Clone Wars, let me know how you thought about the episode. Did you even care about the opening scene if you just saw Clone Wars? But overall, guys, I really love the episode. Please like, share, subscribe. More videos coming out Friday. I have 3 reviews coming. I'm seeing Wrath of Man in theaters on Thursday night, so I'll see my review on Friday. Also, Monster, new Netflix film, that will be review on Friday. And also the 2nd episode of The Bad Batch, spoiler form, will be reviewed on Friday. So stay tuned. So we got to ring that bell for notifications. So thank you guys for joining me on my review of The Bad Batch. I'll see you guys soon.